Hi all, this is Evelyn. I have some updates for you. I have a great message of the day. It's beautiful. If you can stay tuned for that at least. You need to listen to it to the very end. There's some very beautiful messages that came in for you guys. I have my 7-deck read on the table, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to roll the die as well. If you want to go ahead and take a few deep breaths, go ahead and do that. I want to get right into this because I have a few more reads to finish up for you guys today. So go ahead and take a few deep breaths while I'm rolling the die. For the twin flames, today's the 5th of June, 2022. What is the energy here? All right. We have Pisces here. Pisces, and we have Mars. So there's some aggression from Mars here. There's that Scorpio energy. And then we have the number 3 facing us over here. So the 3 is also the Empress, which is Taurus energy, the North Node. The Mars is Scorpio, which is the South Node again, and then Pisces, which definitely I've been hearing Pisces a lot today. Pisces is that energy of being, one foot in this realm, one in the next. It's the end of the zodiac. Also the fish and water, and then we have the North and South Node with that. So it's calling for that follow through of Taurus. And perhaps the need to lead social circles as far as Scorpio, letting go of that energy, because it's coming up with the 3, which is about coming together socially. Okay. So I want to get right into this Shaman Dreams message. I was going to pull my 3 decks like I did yesterday. And I just pulled from the Shaman Dreams, and a bunch of cards came out, so I did that read, which was most of it. And then I still pulled out Nature Whispers after that, but only 1 card came out. And then I pulled from the Good Tarot, and only 2 cards came out from that. So they were really quick ones. So it mostly came from Shaman Dreams. I'm going to show you the pics here. And an Amber Alert just came across, by the way, guys. So here is the first is the Shaman Dreams, the way it came out. Very cool messages for you guys. So this is the underlying energies, and this is just the way the cards came out. 3, 2, 1, 4, 2. And then these are just cards I had to count, which ended up being 33, which was really cool because in the next deck, or the Good Tarot, I had to count cards again. And again, I said, there's no way it's 33 again. And it was 33 twice. So there's definitely that Christ energy coming up. This is the first part. So that is the Shaman Dreams deck. And then here is the Nature's Whispers cards that came up after that. And again, these are just the underlying energies. I just wanted to show you because I used the energies from here, here, and here. This is the bottom of the deck, and this is the only card that came out. Let me show it to you a little closer because there's so many details. There you go. And then from the Good Tarot, again, these are the only cards that came out, and then these are the 33 cards that came out, the bottom and the top cards here I'm just showing you. And then this is the underlying energies. Okay. All right. So today's the 5th, the 5 is the Hierophant, the day adds up to 17, which is the star. So we're dealing with those 2 energies, healing, shining your light, having your dreams coming true. The Hierophant is all about societal norms and commitments and guidance, right? Marriage, religion, the establishment, societal norms, all that kind of stuff. And of course it's Taurus too, which is in the North Node right now. The star is Aquarius. So when I pulled the cards from Shaman Dreams, it was 10:58 this morning. That's the Wheel of Fortune and the 58 of the 4 of Swords, which is for me that 5D connection between the twins. It's also rest and taking a break, meditating, praying, perhaps napping as well, sleeping. And the way the cards came out was 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, which I brought back into it later, which brought more messages in. But 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, and then number 12 came up because there was 12 altogether, and then the 33 cards that I had to count came up, And I was thinking it was going to be 33, and then like, no way, I counted it was 33. It was so cool. And then it happened again, twice. Right? That never happens. Because I don't always have to count cards. And here I was counting cards from 2 different decks, and they both ended up being 33. So as soon as I thought 33, and then 33 came out, Thoth was also coming up. But as soon as the 33 came up, my friend Jesus in the house today, and Root Girl was coming up from yesterday, which is number 46, the inner children loving each other, at the bottom of it. And at the top of the 33 cards was the Crown Games, which is a headless person with a crown. So the Crown Games is at the top with the right use of power, and the Root Girl was at the bottom of it all with that 33 bunch of cards that came up regarding the energy of Jesus. So the underlying energy was the crossing, the initiation, the wood bridge, and the number 54, which is the Page of Swords in the message. And that was after the winter's dream, which is, again, like going back to the winter and the purging of the winter, being in the cold place, and hibernating. The winter's dream and the cosmic womb, which is the 6 of the lovers and love, family, and community. And then the horseman, which is that herald of change, the 30 of home and union. The initiation into the Garden of Venus for rest and renewal after the gestation of the winter's dream and the cosmic womb of the divine feminine. And then the herald of change of union with the horseman coming in, like the Knight of Wands, rushing into the rescue. The initiation into that Garden of Venus, the 25, which is the Knight of Wands, for rest and renewal. And definitely thinking of garden stuff as well. The Crown Games with the face, it's actually a mask. It looked like a grown-up version of the little girl in the Root Girl picture from the other deck. But off with her head in the dance of innocence and power, divine masculine and feminine, natural and raw versus developed and refined, and stunted growth, without a good head on their shoulders. So then at 11:20 was justice and 20, which is judgment, right? Which is huge legal energy, right? Justice and judgment. You couldn't get more legal than that in the deck. And right away, with Jesus coming up, it was coming up as the righteous Pilate and the egotistical Herod and the martyr Jesus of the 11, 22, and the 33. The Trinity players. Again, here Herod is the Hierophant, Jesus as the star, and Pilate as the mediator. After suffering in silence, the lovers, the love, home, and family, and the union, and crossing that natural bridge naturally when you get to it. The tree that laid down its life as the prince lays down its cape for its princess to walk on. The Jewish man who still does this with his Jewish American princess today. Like a picnic in the park in the Garden of Venus, a private sanctuary of high vibe flowers and beauty for two to discover and how to do for each other. The niceties, the kindness, the thoughtfulness, and the mindfulness. Really the heartfulness, as the mind helps to create something original. The Garden of Ease Den and the Bat Cave of rocks and crystals. The men in the basement cooling off, and the ladies in the gardens springing up. The galactic mushroom, not only crystals, but leaves and fruits and veggies. And the green cave and the magenta garden, the 25 and the 24 of the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands together, the Page of Swords with the message for them coming together, the 43s, the 3 of Cups, in overflow of overwhelm and plenty. And again, imagining the beautiful, that beautiful garden, the Garden of Eden, your heaven on earth, with fountains and water wheels and mushroom tops coming up. Good and plenty, and the lay of the land at 12:18, the hanging man and the moon, the 34 of the energetic exchange and the arrows of love and the ancestral wisdom, a big rock in the energy of a more barren place as opposed to something full of green and flowers, a big rock, and then Eagle Rock came up again, where you have a big rock with an eagle perched on top of it, in that very powerful moment, the eagle's perch. With crop circles down below, A strong foundation in energetic exchange or flow of energy here. Repairing the veil then came up, and forgiveness with the number 45, which is the purging energy of the 5 of Cups, of loss and regret and guilt and shame and not letting go of the past. A purging place to be, where it all ties together. Perhaps 3 different areas, the garden, the crystal cave, and the desert that's desolate rock and crop. So it's coming up as red rock and crop circles, kind of like an Arizona energy, but with crop circles there. So 3 different energies in straddling worlds with the 52 of the Queen of Swords, with 1 foot in one world and 1 in the next. Where's that Pisces energy coming up along with the North and South nodes. Wandering between realms, green, blue, purple, and the heart and the high heart of the Queen of Swords after coming together to detox and purge. The horned cactus and resourcefulness of the 29 of being present in the moment to your gifts and protecting them, and or multiple uses here, having one thing with multiple uses. The watchers also coming up here in transpersonal energy. The totem, like the totem pole next to the cactus in the desert here, for peace. Peace in the desert, where the stranger Knight of Swords, who's curious about diving into the water right after being in the desert with no water, to see what's down there. Maybe someone who was never curious about the water before has now been in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, and all of a sudden has curiosity about that water because that illusion looks so good at 109 of the Magician and the Hermit. The natural aqua pool, or perhaps the water in the cave. So if any of you have been in the caves like in Bermuda, you know how beautiful and aqua the water is down there. But uncharted territory for this stranger here. Also at 1117, Japanese maples came up, and was coming up as Japanese, and maples was coming up as the map of Japan's ease, but also Marla Maples was coming up there. I'm not sure why. I don't know if they're in the news or something like that. But the map of Japan's ease, the Japanese maple. So it's like showing you the history of Japan, how they grew something so beautiful because of their history. They've been through it all, that kind of energy. So whatever comes up for you in that respect, take that as your message. Okay, so so the energy of all of these different areas to be in, right? That we don't want to just always be in one place. We like variety. And then the heart home is coming up here. The 27 of the passion, right? Where all your passion really lies, the inspiration that comes from your heart. At 110, which is the Magician and the Destiny, that high vibration, the Wheel of Fortune. The compassion from the heart, inspired to dream about your home, right? The home that reflects who the new you is now, with new passion that perhaps your home needs to catch up with rocks and flowers and mushroom tops and corsets that tie it all together. Instead of gates, perhaps using string or rope or wire to weave back and forth across the fences or through the holes or around the poles. The cave, the garden, the desert, and the pool of water. The home is the castle. And again, it was bringing back my great-grandfather's, house castle in Sacramento. But also the Taj Mahal was coming up again with those mushroom top ceilings or roofs. The Taj Mahal literally translates into the crown of the palaces. And I was guided to just draw like what I saw as the top-down view. So like if you were looking down on the Taj Mahal, it looks like this kind of shape. And then there's a water pool in front, just like down in Washington at the memorial. So, and it very much looks like, the infinity shape that goes through the middle, and they're not called porches or decks, but there's lookout points all the way around the place, or kind of inlets that come in before you go into the main part of the building. And then it has, of course, the 4 pillars around it. But it really has that shape of the octagon, and ultimately the shape of the 8, with the main block in the middle in that 0 point field with the pool of water in the front, right? That good feng shui of having water for prosperity and abundance. So then it was 1, 2, 3, which is that 123 of the Magician and the King of Wands, but also the 1, 2, 3 jump, that leap of faith. And the Caterpillar came up, that card again, with the number 4, which is the Emperor and stability and the home again and the opportunity here. So the Caterpillar is coming up as CAT-ER pillar. And again, this is where the numbers of the cards came up. So the underlying energy was 1 card, and then there was 3 cards, 2 cards, 1 card, 4 cards, and 2 cards. And then the 33 that I pulled. So it was 12 altogether in the middle, plus the 1 underlying energy and the 33 at the end. So then it was coming up as 1, 3, and then 2, 14, which is Valentine's Day, then 2 on the other side with the 33 cards that came out, which comes up as 3, 2, 1 jump into the 42, which is the 2 of Cups. So there's different ways the numbers were coming up. And it's also coming up as the Magician hanging out while the feminine, with the feminine, while she stands up to the Magician, right, who's eager to manifest. The Caterpillar is the opportunity. The 1 to 33, a Valentine's journey. The 32, the leap into the 1-to-1, 2 of Cups connection. The Magician manifesting, hanging out, and the Divine Feminine standing up for themselves. The 4 of the Emperor and the cat with the twisted spine and the bald grandma look and the tail. The whispering bench at the emergency pillar, or the caterer of pills, or the Lord. Literally, Lar means Lord or household God. The fireside was coming up as the hearth, which is like your heart and your body. Do you have a fireplace in your home? And have you cleaned it or updated it recently? It's calling that, just like the fireplace. They say in feng shui that the stove is the center of the home. But right now it's telling me that it's actually the fireplace, because that was the stove of the home initially, long ago when we didn't used to have stoves. So it's calling to update the center of your home, the fireplace or the stove or whatever it is for you that maybe you haven't looked at in 5, 10, 20, 30 years, whatever. So the fireside, the hearth and the home, the clay, the teaching and learning and education, the lesson, the advice, the counsel and doctrine, the box, the guardian spirit, the thigh. The box is also coming up as the crate. And again, laurels, one of the definitions for it as well. Also the ground, the low ground in the earth, the floor, the center of the building, just like your body and your heart being the center of that. The whispering bench, perhaps a timeout for mercy, with pi, P-I, which is the circle with the line down the middle, very balanced, right at that right angle, which is the L. The hearth and the center. The fireplace is the center of the home and should be honored. So again, it's even if it's not in the center of your home, and even if you don't have a fireplace, it's not the point. It's the point that the place that you cook, just like your heart, is the place that should be honored in your home. It's like setting up something or cleaning it out, treating it well, taking care of something that's special, that has multiple uses. And then it's coming up as the spine as well of the home. And then the drifter, the 14 of that temperance card of patience and balance and that higher love, taking your time, a step off the beaten path to perhaps do something new that you've never done, experiencing life as it comes, sailing along through the halls of Amenti. So the first thing that came up when I put in halls of Amenti, because that's what was coming up, obviously, and I wanted to see what else might be coming up around the halls of Amenti for you guys. And the first thing that came up was AscensionDictionary.com. And it was a channeling, I guess, on June 30th, 17. So there's that 17 coming up again. And the 6 and 30, with also those cards both came up in this read. And it was listed as A. Rodrigo. And I'm not telling you what it said word for word. It's more paraphrased. But the Earth Stars Gates from 2D to 4D, the halls of Amenti are those portals. I think it said the 6 portals that are part of the Christiac network. All guardian races on Earth are the Amenti races. Also universal Templar complex via the third density with the Earth Stargate, the third density, now that we're going into the fourth, but the 6 portals of our sphere, or in other words, the Earth, but it's not always the Earth if we're in Tara or if we're in Gaia, which opened 25 million years ago. This portal from Earth to Tara, which is going from 3D to 4D. The SAC, S-A-C, is coming up as stellar activation cycle, which is the natural opening of these cycles, these portals, to fulfill our evolutionary objectives. So originally, the issue was between the guardian angelic nations versus the Anu Elohim, Anunnaki, angelic legions for control of these gates, these 6 portals around the Earth that go from 3D to 4D Earth to Tara. So the next natural cycle, they were saying in the article, was the gate opening between 2000 and 2017, which of course we all know is about the end of the world in 2012. And 2017 was coming up, but later on this page, 217 is important. This was considered the final conflict in the article at 142 in my time, which is the Magician and the Queen of Swords. That this opening was actually expected around 2012, but the window was 2000 to 2017, called the final conflict, that you must pass through this portal to ascend from Earth out of the time matrix, which we're in, and into the dimensionalized reality, which we'll be leaving as we go to the 4th density and then to the 5th eventually. The staff they brought up of Amenti, or the blue flame, allows them to open Tara, or the dimensions 4, 5, and 6. And remember, we're talking densities and dimensions. So we're talking about the 4th density, but the dimensions of 4, 5, and 6, the way to fulfill your evolutionary imprint as your soul and return to your creator or creative source. If the fallen angelics can gain dominion, or they intend to destroy the universal Stargate 12 in density 4, which we're in now, which would seal off from density 5 the founder's race protection. So 11 out of 15 dimensions would then become imprisoned again in time. So we wouldn't be able to get out of this prison matrix that we're in, because every time we reincarnate, they rerouted us. Instead of going back to source every time, they put us into this, circular thing where you went to the moon instead of the sun, and then it threw you right back into the prison planet energy again. So the fallen angelics, or the Grail quest to possess the Ark of Covenant, the gold box and the silver gates tools, or the rod and staff, and achieve critical mass population of their hybrid human races whose DNA templates carry reversed sequenced fire letters. The prevention of the Antichristos agenda is the purpose of the angelic human race, was created 560 million years ago, which the number 56 is coming up here again, which was coming up a lot recently, which is that 2 of Swords energy of being in your knowing and keeping to yourself. The 56 backed up by source with the 0. And also 56, you notice, is 28 plus 28 equals 56. The 2 twins together equals the 2 of Swords of being in your knowing and keeping your energies clear in that pure energy. So Tara connects energetically to the portals of the continent of Mu. Through the 11 to 14 dimensions, the Ra Confederation and the Terranates, for the Covenant of Palador, took on the shape of a sphere, or our planet, which is either Earth or Tara or Gaia, the sphere of Amenti, with Mu's imprint, which has to do with Lemuria. So it's called the Reuche code, R-E-U-C-H-E code, and I looked up that word, but there is no such word in the dictionary that I looked up anyway. But when I broke it down, the most similar was coming up as Ruchi, R-E-U-C-C-I, which means young king. And also there's someone named Reuche Linian, who was a languagist or a linguistic type of person with, I think it was Hebrew and ancient languages or Roman or Greek languages probably. But you can look up that name if you want. But anyway, the Reuche code in the article was talking about the vehicle to visit the halls of Amenti with 590 large leather-bound books with written historical records kept. Ask for guidance most pertinent to you now. It was very interesting that they were saying now in the now moment, basically, because when I looked up the definition, the Roosh code was literally coming up as Roosh Liniano. If you Roosh and then you take out the Linian, which means over the years. So if you take away the years, it's Roosh and the now moment. So ask for guidance most pertinent to you now, and read the book with your life mission, the divine that has your divine blueprint in it. And that was at 206, which was interesting because my soul number is 38.2 and my outer personality is 42.6. So the time is coming up as my blueprint, my soul number, my outer personality number, which add up to 80 as my destiny number in numerology. So the 4D Tara was blocked until the DNA mutation was cleared up. So apparently the strands 7 to 12 with the ability to assemble were shut down. There was an energetic block between our physical and etheric bodies. The human consciousness lost awareness of its relationship to Earth and the higher dimensions and its species evolutionary memory. And this comes up as the MCEO, which is the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order. And it was called the Freedom Teachings from speaker Asha, Ashiana, Arhayas, Arhayas. So that was the section that came up, and it ended at 2:14, which again is Valentine's Day. So then as I started back to the read and I'd pulled the cards from Nature's Whispers, it was 2:17. So again, it was taking me to 17, which is the star. And also that 17/8, which is ultimately an 8. That's how you'd write 17 in numerology, is 17/8. So with Nature Whispers at 2:17, the underlying energy was keep your dreams alive, which is the 25 again, the Knight of Wands. And they're blowing a kiss. And prior to that, in the underlying energy was that love matters, number 43, which was interesting. It was coming up as me as the 43, which is the 3 of Cups coming together, but it's also my son's soul number, and his name is Matthew, and it was coming up as love matters 43. So it was bringing up our children. So when I get messages like that about my children, it's not about my kids, it's about our relationship with our children, so you understand that for you. So I was getting this energy, just like before, it was coming up the different spaces to be in, whether it's the garden or the rock room or the desert or the pool, whatever it is. Here was coming up the masculine energy in the desert room, right? That stranger that was being tempted to jump in that illusion of water, right? Because they were starved of water. But I was getting the desert room is the room where they contact with the ship or the bird. It was like showing me a bird that opens up, but it's actually a ship. It's not a bird, but it might come in looking like a bird. In Nature's Whispers, after she's blowing you a kiss, from the root girl, who's now blue, where in the root picture, as a root girl, she's more those orangey brown colors. But here it's the same girl, but a different deck. But it looks just like her. Just like the mask from the crowned head that had been deheaded. That face or mask looked like this little root girl grown up. So there's all about the face of the root girl here. So now she's blue in this picture, and she's blowing you a kiss. The staff is getting the communication, right? And the staff also comes up as the blue flame in this read. The staff is what is is coming up as the blue in the throat chakra. They're the ones coming in to get out the communication, as opposed to that rod and perhaps the violet flame and the white flame and the Christ flame, right? The portal, and there may be portals in your home that you're able to connect through, and it's kind of giving you an idea of the different energies of the rooms where you may connect through a portal or connect to actually the ships that may come in eventually. The little girl with crystal flowers and birds. And it was interesting because I'd made a ceramic piece when all my nieces and nephews were little. My daughter was in my tummy still, and I'd made hers, but I never actually, I drew her picture of what I was going to make with my ceramic, but I never did hers. I did all of my nieces and nephews and Matthew's, but I never did hers, and hers was called Jenna's Jaunt. And now that she's not living here, her room literally is like Jenna's Jaunt. It's like, where I've put some nice crystals in there, and there's some very florally paintings and stuff like that. It's very purples and whites and fluffy in there. It's very beautiful. And then the crystal cave was coming up here in the fabric of the universe to Jupiter and Ganymede. So it was coming up like a connection to Jupiter and Ganymede, which we've been getting a lot of communication from Elena Danaan and Michael Sala as well regarding Jupiter and what's been going on Jupiter and Ganymede recently, which is the moon of Jupiter. And the little girl in the picture is saying to you, good luck. Good luck. She's blowing you a kiss. So some kind of connection here for us. So the masculine's room is coming up as the desert room, whereas the feminine's the little girl. So talking about your sons and your daughters. And if you have 2 sons and 2 daughters or whatever it is, or if you have 5, whatever it is, who's the masculine one? Who's the more feminine one? So it's coming up as like one's room is the desert room and one is that flower kind of garden room. One is connected to the birds that are the spaceships and the other one's connected to the portals to the outer realms like Jupiter. And this was at 222 where the masculine energy was coming up as the desert, grounds the bird or the ship. Once the pirate ship sails and leaves, like leaves the building, then the other ships can come in. After amplifying your positive emotions, so again, raising your vibration, and the 7 came up of the chariot, which is the feminine within the masculine, ascending together. The little girl ripples in the pond with the old man trees, who are coming up as like twin old men, like the old men in the Muppets, as the barrels, or the barrel of monkeys, right? For fun and laughs, kicks and giggles I was just getting now. So you might want to put your feet in the creek nearby, or wherever there's water, maybe just in a little puddle or a pond. Put your feet in there and splash it around, especially if it's a creek or a pond nearby. That will, your ripples of your energy will then go in through the waters that go other places, not just where you are, but also into the earth there, the mud, which is where you, apparently we get more conduction from being in mud water when we stand there, the ability to be able to turn on a light bulb, which is what Elena Danaan said through Thorhan, her Pleiadian connection. So again, I was getting that too, because I live right outside the city in the suburbs, and there is a creek that actually divides the city from the suburb here. But it's not somewhere I'd ever go and put my feet in. So I'm like, maybe I should go put my feet in there. So the masculine's room is coming up as grounding the ship. It's dry and simple and castle-y, like browns and whites and grays and blues. The gulls that come in that open up to the earth mother there, while the mother is gone. Or excuse me, well, it's the gulls come in. So after the masculine energy, as your children, has come in to prep you in what they're supposed to give you, and then they leave the scene, the earth mother's now by herself, which is the divine feminine, where the masculine child is gone, his job is now done. So now the divine feminine child comes back in to power up the portal. After the earth mother, lined with crystals, birds and flowers and greens, wishes and pinwheels and fishes, perhaps a koi pond perhaps may be coming up, or being coy about the pond. Something fishy here. So it's the feminine coming in as the Knight of Wands, actually more kind of masculine than the masculine was. Like the masculine's coming in as the feminine and more feminine energy, and the feminine's coming in, they're very driven masculine energy to shake things up a bit for the divine feminine, the twin. At 241 then, after we dealt with the masculine in 222, room 222 is that guidance show. At 241 is that reverse energy of Valentine's Day, 214. And the 2 is the High Priestess, and the 41 is the Ace of Cups of self-love, spiritual love, and new love. So again, bringing in this feminine energy, but this driven feminine energy. And then the number 12 came up with expansion. The irises, the eye rises. In expansion of the 12, the hanging man, the wisdom, and seeing new perspectives. The product of our marriage, the hand fasting, the little girl or your children on the young buck. So here's like the masculine and feminine, even like I said, even if it's 2 girls or 2 boys or 5 girls or 5 boys, it doesn't really matter. It's the energy of the daughter coming in, riding on the masculine energy, bringing her in. The buck is like, or the deer is like being the masculine laying his cape out for you. Here the masculine son is laying his cape out for the feminine daughter so that she can ride him, coming into the scene with the father, and that can be their biological father, but then it could be them bringing the twin in as well. The product of your marriage, or in other words your children, in a handfast, the little girl on the young buck who's supporting her travels, giving her a ride, like the prince's cape, in the crevice between the mountains, and giving gratitude as the feminine to the father of the children for the blessings that they gave you as your beautiful children, as he is now out of the picture. The agreement complete as the son brings her back to the hand of his father, so they cross before the mother fades from view or goes out of the dimension. The son must be brave on his own and take the step on his own without his mother's help, right? Knowing he must rescue his sweet sister, or they bringing the hand of the man that will ground the divine feminine just beyond, but on the other side. So it's like the masculine has to rise to the occasion in the child sense to become the man that he's supposed to be, to rise his vibration in order to make it to the other side in time. That kind of energy of the crevice, of an earthquake happening and jumping to the other side just in time. Just on the other side of the rainbow. And the picture is all about, I do want to show you the picture because it's all about the rainbows coming across. And this was from Nature's Whispers. So this is literally the picture. Okay, so you see like the hand fasting of expansion, and you see like the little girl, and then this is representing the little boy, and this can represent you and the father of your children, but it also can represent the feminine. You see her face fading away. She's etheric here. And it can also represent the father of the children, but it also can then represent the children bringing in the divine masculine to the feminine, like just in time before she fades away into another dimension and they no longer have access to her. It was very interesting the way that this was coming up today. And then here is that energy of the little girl below it, the little root girl blue, and blowing you a kiss and giving you all these clues about the ships and the portals. So again, with expansion, the irises and the eye rises, the product of our marriage, the handfast, the little girl and the young buck supporting her travels, giving her a ride with the prince's cape, lining the horse or the deer, and in the crevice, giving gratitude for the father for the blessings of your children, now that he is out of the picture. The agreement has been completed as the son brings the daughter back to the hand of his father, so they can cross over before the mother fades from view. The son must be brave and take a step on his own, knowing he must rescue his sweet sister, or they are now, the brother and sister, bringing the hand of the man that will ground the divine feminine just on the other side of the rainbow. Now he's on her side of town. A cave down below that he's prepared just for her, as the hot air balloons line the skies. 8 to be exact, wizards locked down the war. And that was coming up as warlock, all right? So instead of warlock, we're reversing it to lock down the war. Removing the pirate ships out of sight. No more need to pass downloads, as Jimmy is dynamite. A little birdie told me at 251, the High Priestess and the King of Swords. 2 mountains come together to hang out, to be wise and expand. So then we went to the Good Tarot at 256 to 57, which is the High Priestess, the 56 again of the 2 of Swords in your knowing, and the 57 of that separation or disappointment and the healing of that. The underlying energy of the 4 of Water, and then the 5 of Water below that. And then 2 cards came out. One is the 7 of Fire in this deck, and then the King of Water, which I'm going to show you that too, because they're very unusual cards in this deck. So here's the 4 of Water and the 5 of Water, and you see how aqua they are and watery they are, okay? And then the 2 cards that came out from this deck were first the Ace of Fire, which is very much that lantern, glowy, Asian kind of energy, and then we have, that wasn't the next one. It was actually, Where'd it go? You're messing with my cards here. Because there was 33 cards here. That's why the cards are mixed up. But where did the other one go? Oh, it's just stuck? No. Where'd it go? There? No. I don't know how we got all mixed up. Oh, there they are. So why do I have the lantern out? Is that the underlying energy? Anyway, I have these two, I think, were actually from the 33 cards I counted. This was on the bottom of the 33. This was on the top of the 33. They weren't actually the cards that came out. The cards that came out was the Seven of Fire and the King of Water, which is like that Neptune energy or that Poseidon energy. Okay, so look at these two cards. So in the good tarot, with the Four of Water and the Five of Water and the underlying energies, and the two cards that came out that I just showed you, the Seven of Fire and the King of Water, and then I counted the cards again, and I'm like, no way, it'll be 33 again, and then it was 33 cards again. So there's that Christ vibration, which is the Seven of Wands, standing up for oneself, right? But also playing on the same playing field, but yet not getting triggered. With the Nine of Earth at the bottom of all of it, hearing the call from the Taj Mahal after the messenger or knight of water is trying pearls in Seahorse's room. She tries out a circular horn at 0 point field and then a very straight horn at the Taj Mahal, a more dramatic flair to 0 point and their sovereignty. With a bird mask and flower, buttercup times 2, and at the top is the Ace of Fire, the lantern, the orange glow lining her steps. So again, it's bringing together the Jesus and Mary Magdalene energies of buttercup and the fire. And this is to inspire him as she holds flowers and space, the Mary Magdalene Earth Mother of bird and buttercup with JC's creative glow all around her. Don't you see, see, see? See with your eyes, and the see with your emotions, and the see of the whispering bench and the Christ consciousness at 307, which is the abundance of the 3 and Gaia, Earth, Terra, and the 7 of the chariot, the feminine within the masculine, ascending together on Gaia, which Gaia is the spaceship, right? So don't you see, as Poseidon is right there next to the lantern. So the underlying energy, which was the 2 of air, with 2 crowned birds and a flowered back, the lovebird's back, as the 5 of water seahorse is getting the snail out of her shell to see the pearls that he threaded, and the 4 of water, who shows them both, how to free up the pearls and loosen the hold to move free form, you see, of focused intent. She with her seahorse, and then see what she, number 2, can do from a different perspective with focused intent. So again, here's coming up the masculine or sun energy as the more feminine, and then the feminine coming up with this more driven and straight focus of intent. The divine feminine and masculine sides of the divine feminine, because your children are expressions of you, coming out in her children to show her the way. The first card that came out, that 7 of Fire, is the Arabian Unicorn Knight. You see, King Poseidon here, card number 2, thought that Pegasus was his perfect heir, A-I-R, or expression of himself. But Pegasus had different ideas about carrying the weight of his world, and clipped his wings and grew a horn instead, to be with his Jewish American princess, his mermaid under the sea, his Barbie doll, and his California girl, all rolled into oneness of he. The white unicorn with cape laid carefully across his back, up on his hind legs, which is her support, of course, in the 2-person horse, and posing atop Mount Dragonfly. That's that Amber Alert again. And that, by the way, is a silver Suzuki XL7 PA. License number LXG5500. Maybe somebody out there is on the road. So again, the white unicorn with his cape laid carefully across his back, up on his hind legs, which support her, of course, and the two-person horse, and posing atop Mount Dragonfly. His fireflies all lit up, trying to impress, by his statuesque pose, his empress to his side. Here's him trying to be all impressive. Okay? Poseidon would have to, quote-unquote, air, A-I-R, out his own place, without even a goodbye, and disappearing without a trace. Perhaps somewhere in space, perhaps around Neptune. God forbid Kronos shows pain in Uranus. So there's my guys being very funny. So there is our message. So very cool stuff coming up in that. And now we go back to the twin flame read on the table. And I'm going to show you that one. Still getting used to my phone here. All right, so this is the basic read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck that's on the table. And then we have the full 7 deck read here. Okay. And those two are the only ones for today. So this one was cut and dealt at 5:26 yesterday afternoon. The 5 is the Hierophant, the 26 is the Page of Wands, that inspiration. At 5:40, the HT of orbs came up, which is like the height of thoughts and words of blind men and orphans, or the height of ORBS, which is coming up too as Uranus, right? You're a pain in the ass. You know, God forbid it's Kronos, because Kronos killed Uranus. So if you don't know the story, it was really funny the way it was coming up. So instead of saying pain in the ass, pain in your anus. So we have the height of orbs, and then RBS, which can be run, base, slam instead of hits, at 5:40 with the Hierophant and the Page of Cups at the height of thoughts and words, blind men and orphans, which is references to the masculine. And then we finish clarifying at 5:54, which is the Hierophant and the Page of Swords, that message that's getting across. So here we go. We have the major arcana in this read as indigo and reflection. The indigo is the magician in a young boy sense, offering a big diamond, and the reflection is the hermit. And then before the read is karma, which is judgment, and after the read is guidance, or the Hierophant, the star, and the starseed, which is the fool. There were 3 pentacles, 1 wand, 2 cups, and 3 swords in this read. So 3, 1, 2, 3, jump again. The 31 also comes up here of the 5 in conflict or drama or battles or the pursuit of happiness in games perhaps. And the 23 of the King of Wands, who seems to always be involved these days when any wands come up. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, the King of Swords as the main players in the read. And before the read is the Page of Wands, that inspiring energy or message, or perhaps wanting to take someone out on a date. We have 22, 44, and 55 coming up. 22 and 44 more significant. The 22 of the Fool and the Fool's Journey, taking a leap of faith with an open heart, and the 44 of the 4 of Cups of grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love. The 55, of course, the Truth, and then the 6 of the Lovers, the 8 of the Dance, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, and the 78 of Heaven on Earth. We also have the 24 of the Queen of Wands, the 45 of the Purging, 5 of Cups, and the 56, which keeps coming up today, is the 2 of Swords, being your knowing, keeping your energy clear and pure. And then 810, which is that 0 backing up the 81, which is the end of karma around the world. So the code line here is all about karmic completion, and it was broken up into K, armic, and completion. The number was number 6, which is the Lovers, but it's also love, family, and community. And here's how the message came out. Expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle reflecting, source flatulence or passing wind, as revealing our sharing support, 2K or 2000, or to energy that's very armic, it's armed, that's calm, but not quite the same. The 7 of the feminine within the masculine in the chariot, ascending, and a leap of faith, appropriately bounce back or recoiling to expand and contract or reflect in the middle, or perhaps passing wind or farting is coming up here, manifesting our charital support, that dainty energy that's armed with calm stain connection, the expanding and contracting in order to sleep, to root for and support sudden events or see sudden events and point them out and mention, or sharing and settling out, contributing support of the twin energy to karmic completion. Also reflecting the root girl today, suddenly adept to indicate, designate, advise, and share fodder, which is like, leftover stuff for the animals to eat, or compost pile, the ointment or the schmaltz, or the twinny, cute, dainty, inner child, or K, the arm of the inner child, the calm communication of the stain, the plate, the dispute connection. So we start this read at 7:02, which is the chariot and the 2 of the high priestess. It's also the date coming up soon, July 2nd. It's actually the day I met my twin. And then the first card out is the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And beneath that Knight of Pentacles reversed, the top card is that Knight of Pentacles with the mini cards on top. But the cards below it is the Karma reversed, which is the Judgment card. The 5 of Pentacles reversed, the 10 of Cups reversed, the 5 of Cups upright, and the Page of Wands reversed. So there's poor judgment here and recovery of the 10 of Cups reversed, perhaps an unhappy family grieving loss and regret, and the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated or all over the place, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed being stubborn or fixed, refusing or unable to function, detoxing and hanging out, reaping rewards, or a hung jury, unsure what it's worth. At war defending religion, marriage, establishment, or Taurus, sharing or settling out, for break to assess. Rest, meditation, and 5D connect and sleep, working to get their ducks in a row. The Ace of Pentacles reversed, saving for a move, a trip, or a car, and released from anxieties, prison, or with guard in need of help. Or the Page of Pentacles reversed does, after a death or end, with the Page of Cups upright being loving to the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, and their dysfunction or loss, or a sudden standstill or strike, or once released, fending off an opportunist. So it's like jumping from the frying pan into the fire type of energy, like you thought you were just out of your problems, and then you jump right into something else. Now somebody's fending off opportunists, perhaps after a death or dark night, and the Page of Cups loving message, perhaps devastating to the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, community suddenly, or a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, or the Page of Cups. And there could be Asian energy coming up here as well, causing of a bridge or establishment to go down, a sudden explosion or message of 911, or the Page of Cups is at the beach or they're saying got the beach covered when they were supposed to take care of the dogs, and suddenly all hell breaks loose. So there's this energy. I don't know if a little child did something wrong and set the house on fire, or let the dogs out of the house, but there's some kind of an emergency that happens, and it feels like there's a little kid involved that maybe didn't know any better, or somebody was supposed to be watching them and they didn't. Like the older brother's supposed to be watching the younger one, and then they don't, right, because they don't want to, or they're playing with their friend, not really paying attention, and little kid gets into trouble. So there's something like that coming on, but it's not the only situation. It also could be working for a car in order to go free from wherever you are now and defend their position to the Page of Pentacles reversed and the Page of Cups upright in the never-ending story of drama in the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or legacy, or the world at large. And perhaps the dogs got out or caused a fire, a sudden event, an epiphany of the Ten of Pentacles, family or business or community that's reversed about the Knight of Pentacles, or someone that's gone on strike. Perhaps left the baby with them, and they're not really watching them. Or the Page of Pentacles reversed is tired of the Page of Cups upright, who's always loving all the time, and the family, business, or community is wrapped up. It's coming up here as the Page of Pentacles reversed is irritated because the Page of Cups always gets the family wrapped around their little pinky, and they're just tired of it. Or perhaps this is the kid who pushed the fire alarm at school because they thought it was funny, so everybody had to leave the building. The Lovers reversed, a breakup or without affection. The Emperor upright realized they made a bad call, or forgot to call the Empress, or forgot to tell her about the ghosts he saw, or the dark energies that have come back, or about wrapping their feet being a bad decision, or their new shoes that were a waste of money. Or the Emperor and the Empress, both upright here, perhaps they spoke too soon. There's no affection for the Emperor upright needing to swallow his pride with the Empress perhaps, with Gemini reversed and Aries upright, and the Aquarius reversed with the Empress upright. And remember, they're both coming up here as upright because they always have to show that everything is fine, even if they're not. At 736 is the Chariot and the 36 of Atlas and the Weight of the World, with past life relationship, and beneath that, call in your soulmate, with Aquarius reversed, Capricorn upright and reversed, and Pisces upright here, with Taurus and Scorpio upright, Scorpio's reversed as well, and Cancer is reversed. The Empress and Taurus may be using their sexual wiles to drain their lover, or Leo reversed, kids and pets, with no Sun and flirting or showing off for the Knight of Wands in big love at work, or using her cleavage or butt cleavage to get the Knight of Wands to rescue them, or a group putting the truth aside so that the Empress upright and the Knight of Wands upright can run home to have sex while the group waits for them. So this is a weird energy of someone, going home on break to go have sex with their wife or whatever, and then coming right back. And that could be the sexual energy between the twins as well, but nobody understands it. So it's like running out to do something and then coming back. Or the Empress is sick of them flirting at work and showing off, or setting the Knight of Wands on fire to stop, drop, and roll wherever they please. And this could also be, new lovers kind of like making out all over the place. There's personal growth for the King of Wands reversed, and below that, individuality, with the Knight of Pentacles looking forward but going back, and keeping their cards close about coming out to or with their twin. The Page of Wands reversed, uninspired to start over with the King of Wands reversed, but at least neither are complaining anymore or bored anymore, with the Page of Wands and King of Wands leaving 3 behind, along with a rat, or a cigar, and it's a boy, feeding alcohol to the squirrels, after the Queen of Swords reversed, with Gemini or Virgo, connecting in 5D, or sleeping with the Knight of Pentacles upright and not telling. With Gemini and Virgo both reversed, the King of Wands reversed and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with the Page of Wands reversed right behind, in a sudden event, epiphany, or sexual exchange, with the Empress upright and big love at work, or in the kitchen, or by the logs, or caught them in the act. Could be 2 different Empresses here. One is more traditional, older person and kind and loving, and the other one is the one who's using their sexual wiles to get their way and get power. The King of Wands reversed could be stubborn, when suddenly he sees the Empress and they jump into each other's arms, unable to resist. The King of Wands reversed in a growth spurt here, as the Hanging Man walks away in a downturn or slowdown or twist of fate, dropping the act or the ball, or holding on to the unhappy family. The Queen of Cups upright and the Queen of Swords upright with new information, but there's hostilities and frustration. At 1023, which is Destiny and the King of Wands, satisfied or arrogant in receiving, with the Hierophant surrendering and waiting for a call to share or settle out. In the recent past is the Two of Pentacles reversed, needing to surrender to all that is, but perhaps not, or received a command to be on high alert, be ready, or offer a new passion and ready to defend their position and be strong, taming the beast. The King of Pentacles is looking at the Knight of Pentacles reversed, who may be stuck, and releasing his anxieties by a kind, strong glance toward him. This is a very loving glance from the King of Pentacles to the Knight of Pentacles who's reversed and stuck in their upside-down world, or feeling under attack, or disappointed, or separation and heartbreak, with the Hermit taking a look. And this could be someone maybe who hurt themselves or has a boo-boo or something too, or they have to go to the doctor and have it could be the nurse's office as well, and having someone take a look at something. The King of Swords may be overwhelmed, like stealing from a baby's bliss, with cover-up or turnover in the game, and headed right back to work with an ultimatum and a choice given to the King of Cups, dumping it all on the Knight of Wands and the Sovereign, which is the Nine of Pentacles, or the chain of command here, after picking up the red phone at 10:35, which is Destiny and the Wounded Warrior. So that could be war and military stuff going on as well. The foundation is the Indigo upright, with a proposal of a depressing nature, and the Ten of Cups reversed may be not doing well as the family, or lack of emotional fulfillment there, with Gemini or Virgo upright, Aquarius and Libra reversed, and the central energy is the Ace of Wands, all big and upright right there on high alert or at attention. The Page of Pentacles reversed, withholding a manifestation until they hear from their higher up. The need for help is now increasing, and lacking faith at work as the Knight of Wands comes in for the rescue. The Emperor is in charge at the command center, and everyone is manning their posts, and stop fooling around type of energy there. The challenge being the Six of Pentacles, and sharing the load as the Devil reversed is detoxing whether or not the worst is actually over. The divide and the need for clarity here about an attack or injury and coming together to resolve a falling out and or sad news, the Wounded Warrior surrendering, and the Knight of Cups ready to offer love and make it all better. At 10:43, the destiny of coming together. The Knight of Swords may be quarreling at night, or may need to make a quick judgment here in order for peace to happen, which is no surprise. The Queen of Cups may be returning to be second lover. Not returning, I'm sorry. The Queen of Cups is refusing to be the second lover, seeing someone else out to eat. So it's like the man with two lovers, and the one sees the other two out to eat, with fallen angel in a heated exchange, with the Hermit coming in for peace talks about their upside down world. The Divine Feminine in the 5D, or Pisces reversed, and now is the Queen of Cups upright with good news, recovering from exile and disconnect or from a distance. The Nine of Cups upright and the Nine of Pentacles upright, the two sovereigns of emotions and practical world. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups in conflict with the King of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Cups Cancer, or at night, stressed out and drained without surrender, or they may be with crazy kids. With Pisces reversed and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, it's no fantasy family coming up here. With the Divine Feminine in 5D, or Pisces in another dimension, and the Queen of Pentacles Hermit, or Virgo, withholding or playing hardball with the Queen of Wands, who's now in a jealous rage. With Saggy reversed or losing their temper, the fallen angel with new information and on the warpath to see the Sovereign. The Pisces reversed, Sag and Cancer reversed, Virgo and Scorpio upright here. The Queen of Cups is out of hiding or out of prison. No more anxiety or fear. The Queen of Cups is seeing their lover out to eat with the Queen of Wands, or vice versa, and fiery Scorpio is freaking out and now losing their temper. At 10:54, which is the Destiny and the Wheel and the Page of Swords, in a heated exchange with the Hermit Divine Feminine, or Virgo upright and Pisces reversed, or Divine Feminine 5D, Soon is the King of Swords upright, holding on to secret passion and dumping a load, their burdens or responsibilities, or confessing in hopes of a reprieve. Grounding, integrating, and mastering a lack of balance, knocked for a loop, conflict, battle, an arrogant soldier, or the Knight of Swords rushing in with the truth. Coming together strong and taming the beast around the Empress upright, the King of Swords, the man of honor and integrity, and the twin flames being the hermit here, reflecting and walking away from work or tired of being ignored like they don't exist, and moving to peace away from home, the Queen of Pentacles in justice with the Magician's illusions over their head. With Virgo or Gemini upright, Libra reversed here, there's deception, keep an open mind, and very soon that around the twins or how they're seen is the Four of Swords upright, trying to get some rest or peace or sleep here, or in the 5D connect, and the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords both reversed in a heated exchange, perhaps in a dire situation, now given an ultimatum. The block for the twins is the Two of Cups reversed, in disconnect or being at a distance, and looking back at the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community dysfunction, and fueling their truth and karmic completion. Very significant here, spiritual career, love, relationship change, and moderation. Recovering without an olive branch, or in other words, by theirself, sharing a bed but at a distance, lying, cheating, or stealing, or ghosting going on. Out of hiding and with no fear now, the Tower is upright, and sudden King of Cups is upright too, as Scorpio appears at 11:21 and a helicopter flew over, which is justice and the world, or completion and alignment. Losing patience with delay after delay, and the Hermit bringing peace from another world. With the Queen of Wands, Scorpio with Sag in their chart, and clarity suddenly about broken sovereign no longer hiding, or prisoner now released. The King of Cups, Scorpio, or suddenly unconditionally loving, seeing synchronicities or taking steps to a commitment but depressed. Or Taurus with Aquarius in their chart, foolishly wishing upon a star, with the Queen of Swords telling their truth to the King of Wands reversed. The Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands, sovereign, may be coming together emotionally and financially, the sovereign. And the Queen of Pentacles is missing their flame, but Pisces and Scorpio are around instead. The King of Pentacles, or the Knight of Pentacles reversed with poor judgment and coming out of the cave, perhaps too soon, at 11:35, which is justice, alignment, truth, and balance, and the Wounded Warrior. The Hermit with the Ten of Cups reversed family may be grieving, the Page of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, with Indigo proposal, and Hermit reflecting on break in the 5D and not yet surrendering to their new passion or flame, challenged by sharing with the King of Swords at a distance, and the Queen of Cups now released or no longer in fear, out of hiding, and taking steps to marriage of their dreams, perhaps knocked for a loop and wishing on the stars at 11:44 of justice and grounding, integrating, and mastering how to receive love, and perhaps the matchmaker. We have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the Two of Pentacles, and the King of Wands reversed. Unbalanced and stuck, unable to keep their balls up in the air, or unable to work together. Indigo offers big flame to the Queen of Cups, challenged to share, reflecting the King of Swords, or two Virgo energies in 5D connections. It doesn't mean they're Virgos, they may have strong Virgo in their charts, both of them. But 5D connection at a distance, with the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords coming out of hiding to take steps with guidance from the stars, a fallen star. And that is your read. So let's just pull a few quick cards here. As I get my other decks out of the way. All right. So let's see. Pull from the Animal deck, and I'll do Journey of Love today for you guys. Did I just do that again? No, I thought I did them, flipped different ways again. It was just one card. Like, how am I doing that? Like, didn't make sense to me. Okay. So from the Animal deck, which is this one with the cat. without their crown. Notice their crown is down here, and they're on their throne, but no crown on. What is our takeaway from this read today? This came right up. Look at that, the Emperor. Oh, I love this card. The deer mouse. The deer one with some flowers for you as his little inner emperor, not the big, powerful, bossy one. The deer mouse. Structure and organization are important right now. Don't be afraid to take on a leadership role, as you have much wisdom to offer. It can be both ways, like someone who's normally shy going into their emperor status, and then the emperor, who's usually the boss, coming in to retirement and being very different and loving now in perhaps their shy personal life. And then we have the Queen of Spring, of talent and brilliance and independence and charming, which is the back of the deck, the Persian cat. Don't underestimate your ability to manifest your dreams. You may have several priorities vying for your attention all at once, but you can do it. No problem here. And look how cute they are. It's like the Emperor and the Empress. Now she's in the throne because he's put down his cape for her, and now he's humbling himself to offer her flowers. And look at the little kitties, the masculine and the feminine kids. How cute is that? That's so perfect. That is so perfect. So then we have the bottom of the deck. And again, maybe just trying to juggle too much right now. And the next card's coming up is, the confusion. But what do I do next? But that was coming up for this too, that you got this. Don't worry about that. You may be feeling a little cuckoo too. The bottom of the deck is the balance of the zebra, right? The contrast, the 14 of balance, of patience, and taking one step at a time. Go slowly. The zebra, by merging varying points of view, you can generate an extraordinary new idea. Compromise with others and collaborate to discover a better solution. Okay? Be patient. And then there's renewal. Look at how cute they are. The renewal of the 20 in judgment. There may be a parent with 2 kids or 3 kids together here, or siblings. The raccoon with the masks on. And that could be a family who insists on wearing masks all the time as well. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and make changes so that you're on the path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what's been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. So again, it's letting go of that fear. It's kind of like that energy of people who were in fear, no longer in fear, coming out of hiding, and now allowing the contrast by seeing that having opposing points of view can actually be complementary to you to come up with a better solution for things. So now from the journey of love, let's see what comes up for you. I love those cards that came out. They were so cute. That deer mouse has to be one of the cutest. And notice that we also have their cat and mouse. I love that too. Okay. And the little kittens are so cute. And we have a big sunflower there too. And there's a crescent moon there in the background. And the little deer mouse has a butterfly in there. They have an orange butterfly, which is that sacral energy, that glow that the masculine was coming up with. And it looks like it looks like Fruit Loops here too. I don't know if someone likes Fruit Loops, but that's coming up on the masculine side. There's hazelnuts, blueberries, and Fruit Loops. Okay. So perhaps the feminines have been dealing with the yard, with the flowers and the kids and stuff. And here the masculines deciding what kind of food they really like. Maybe they're in a new circumstance where they have to make food for themselves now. And they're discovering all these things they actually like and don't like. And why was I doing that for so long? All right. In the journey of love, what is the message for us today? Man of the earth, woman of the sky. The 48 of walking away and within. And look, here's the feminine laying down her hair for the masculine's arrival, as he's always laid down the blanket or his cape for them. I love it when they come up that way. You see all the women here? They're all laying down on the edge of the vortex to lay down their hair for the masculine to come in. And there's the sun. Here comes the sun. Da 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 da. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's all right. Then we have the 69 of contemplation, of that brand new life, of offering of time, money, and energy, and that life will change. And the contemplation of that, of the sacred convergence. And here is the union of the energies. And this is that energy that I would tell you about of the 9/11 memorial, where like a push pop comes up and there's the Pleiadians on stage with some kind of projection and an audience here regarding the sacred convergence of the twins coming together. And the next card is the pearl threaded, which I have to show you because the pearls threaded came up in the other cards today. So again, the 38 of the Queen of Cups, which is that Mary Magdalene energy, and coming together, which is my Paul and Linda energy here of coming together with the Beatles, and the 66 of the Queen of Pentacles. So here we have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. That could be two feminine energies coming together. But also we have She Loves. It's about all the feminines coming together and laying their hair down for the masculine. And that's taking a risk to truly love and receive love as well. And there's the hidden beauty, right? No longer in fear, coming out in the 5D connection, that Four of Swords. So, and there's her hair literally blowing in the wind to be laid down for the masculine, which is, her hair is her, can be her psychic connection there. So again, these are the first two that came out, and the underlying energy is the legacy of light of Jesus as the feminine's contemplating the connection. Okay. Because those are all feminine cards, but the bottom of the deck is that Jesus energy over here holding the light, or perhaps a big sleeping bag, and then somebody else to camp out with who needs help, or a child. The legacy of his light, the 53 of the messenger of truth, the knight in shining armor. What's underneath this one? And the spiral dance of the goddess, of the ovaries having been strangled. Isn't that very metaphoric? So with the 29 of being present in the moment to the gift of life, of birth, of the pearl threaded, which is coming up as the ovary here. And the strangulation of light, because this ribbon right here literally is around my lamp next to here. It's so crazy. It's exactly this ribbon. So there you go. So I'm going to read you the first card out, which is the man of the earth, woman of the sky. Let's see what that says. Number 48 is that walking away within from a lot of emotion you put into something in order to find your missing piece, who you are. I see myself in you and you in me. We may seem so different and yet sometimes so similar. And even beyond this, I know deep within that we are one. I can lose myself in your light and receive your light with my body. I can witness the darkness of your shadow and enter into it with my compassion. I can find the divine in our connection, letting go of what I thought I was. I can be broken apart to become as one with you, even if only for a second, and know the divine more intimately than ever before. Our passion leads us to each other, and in each other we find our true selves. This oracle brings you a message of sacred relationship that leads to divine understanding and experience. You are being opened up to sacred relationship, either in your current relationship or one that's on its way to you now, in human relationship and in divine relationship with the heavenly beloved. Know you're worthy of it, and keep a light of gentle hope and respect kindling in your heart as you anticipate the union with your beloved. Know that even when it's dark, when it challenges you, there is sacredness unfolding. The love of the divine wants to reach us not only in our happiness, but also perhaps more so in our darkest hour. Let it reach for you through your relatedness with another, and do not be afraid to be broken and opened, for in that cracking of what you thought you were, you shall begin to know what you are, which is heaven on earth. How rare to be born with a name of love. What challenges await that I must face, or voice to listen to from above, telling what I must embrace. Each day I walk a path unknown with no regrets for where I've been. Each experience is mine to own, and no choice is called to live again. How strong I am to ask myself, the measured test unfolds each day, a blessing of enormous wealth. Inside the gift will always lay. Okay, pretty beautiful today. I hope you like that one. So remember your water, your rest, your joy, your nature. Rise and be loved, love and rise. It was just 1938, which is the sun and the Queen of Cups, Mary Magdalene. Have an amazing day, you guys. Remember to breathe and be patient. All is well in every moment. Rise and be loved, guys. I'll see you soon. Have an amazing day.